A helicopter just dropped off a body kit at Matt Armstrong's workshop, and within seconds, Alex G was drifting his BMW around the landing zone like it was scripted for a film. It wasn't. Matt Armstrong has confirmed he's building the world's first wide-body Bugatti Chiron, and the way that body kit arrived tells you everything about how far this project is about to go. The footage spread fast this week because nobody expected a courier van moment to turn into an actual aircraft touching down in a workshop yard. The helicopter descended, the rotors kicked up dust across the lot, and right beside it, Alex pulled donuts in his BMW as if a multi-100,000-pound delivery landing nearby was just background noise. That single clip says more about where Alex's head is right now than any interview could. This isn't someone reluctantly modifying a car because he ran out of options. This is someone who's genuinely fired up about what comes next, fired up enough to do donuts next to a helicopter mid-landing. Context matters here, because this didn't come out of nowhere. Alex bought this Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport, one of only 60 ever produced, and then the car crashed on April 13th. He paid a serious buyback price just to get it back and fund the rebuild, and what followed was over a year of friction with Bugatti over nearly every part needed to fix it. Airbags got refused, components got stonewalled. Mate Remats put out public videos questioning whether the rebuild was even possible. The Chiron itself was split in half during the process, and radiators kept failing pressure tests more than once. Eventually, against all of that resistance, the car came back together. Matt drove it. Alex drove it. Everything worked, using commercially available parts and Bob's welding instead of Bugatti's blessing. That entire ordeal is what changed things. Watching a manufacturer make ownership this difficult, watching someone publicly doubt the rebuild while Matt quietly proved it could be done, shifted something in how Alex sees this car. If Bugatti wasn't going to support him, there was no longer a reason to keep the car in factory spec just to stay in Bugatti's good graces. So now, he's building it exactly the way he wants it built. The company supplying that body kit is called Venuum, and it's not a name most people in the car world would immediately recognize. Dig into their portfolio, though, and they're clearly not amateurs. Rolls-Royce Phantom conversions, wide-body Lamborghini Urus builds, real carbon fiber work, and finishing that looks closer to a luxury house than a backyard fabricator. The early renders of this wide-body Chiron show wider arches, a far more aggressive stance, and proportions Bugatti would never sign off on in a million years. Whether that translates into reality once it's actually fitted to the car remains the real test, but based on what Venuum has put out so far, this isn't shaping up to be an aftermarket disaster. Here's the part of the story that adds another layer entirely. Jake Paul, Alex's friend and the boxer who somehow seems to know everyone in entertainment and motorsport alike, reportedly made the call to Venuum's CEO directly. Not Matt's team, not Alex's management, Jake himself. He'd watched the entire rebuild saga play out, knew Alex wanted to take the car somewhere completely different from where Bugatti would ever take it, and picked up the phone. One call later, a working relationship formed fast enough that a complete body kit was designed and delivered within a single week, landing by helicopter while a BMW spun donuts beneath it. A turnaround that quick means one of two things. Either Venuum pulled off one of the fastest custom body kit builds in recent memory, or they already had Chiron-specific designs sitting in development, and this phone call simply triggered the release. Either way, it's hard to think of a more dramatic way to unveil a body kit on camera. Now, the part that has to be said plainly, modifying a hypercar like this comes with real financial risk. Alex's Chiron Pur Sport is worth millions, and being one of only 60 built is exactly what protects that value. The second you start altering the bodywork, recovering the cost of that work becomes unlikely, and resale value can take a real hit, because modifications are personal taste, not universal upgrades. What Matt and Alex think looks incredible. The next buyer might not, and someone shopping for an unmodified Pursport almost certainly isn't shopping for a Venuum widebody conversion. Those are two completely different buyers chasing two completely different cars, and Bugatti's resistance throughout this entire saga has only underlined that split. Even with all of that risk on the table, it's hard not to respect what Alex is doing. He never bought this car purely as an investment sitting in a garage. He bought it to drive and to actually enjoy. And Bugatti's gatekeeping turned that experience into a year-long fight just to keep the car functional. Mate Rematz's public doubts, the repeated parts refusals, the drawn-out timeline, all of it turned ownership into something closer to combat than enjoyment. A project like this won't happen overnight either. Fitting a wide-body kit to a car capable of speeds past 260 miles per hour isn't a weekend job. Every panel has to align perfectly. The wider arches need to clear larger wheels without contact issues, and the aerodynamics at that speed range have to be engineered properly, not guessed at. Matt Armstrong's reputation rides on getting this right, which means taking the time it needs rather than rushing for a release date. So the real question hanging over this entire build is simple. Does this end up as the most dramatic and successful custom Bugatti ever created? Or does it become the most expensive misstep in automotive YouTube history? That answer is still months, maybe years away.